I'm Marilyn Spurrell, Superintendent of the Eastern Sunrise District of the Dakotas Conference of the United Methodist Church. Hear these words from Isaiah, the 43rd chapter. Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name, and you are mine. The waters shall not overwhelm you, and the flame shall not consume you, for I am the Lord your God. It was a bitterly cold night in January 2010. That night, flames broke through the roof of the Humboldt United Methodist Church. The fire spread quickly through that wood frame building. And even though firefighters from 5 different fire departments responded, they lost the fight. Before long, that church building had been totally destroyed, fully engulfed in flames. It was not long, and all that could be done was to watch and to wait and to remember. Even the next day, the remains of that church building smoldered. A group of us gathered. Members of the congregation, pastors from the surrounding area. That afternoon, we claimed God's promise that though flames had destroyed, the congregation could not be consumed. As I said the blessing, we received a gift. A young man, a member of the congregation, a young man who had been one of the firefighters who fought the fight, brought to Pastor Gary Johnson the chalice that the congregation regularly used for communion. It was covered with dirt, with soot, with ashes. But still, it became a symbol for us of God's promise that though flames had destroyed, God's people would not be consumed. There are those of us who during these late winter weeks, as we anticipate spring, need to remember the other part of the verse from Isaiah 43. The promise that says that rising waters, flooding rivers, will not consume, will not overwhelm us. For in these days between a winter that has already lasted too long, a winter that's been far too cold, we've experienced far too much snow, it is this season we call flooding that stands between us and the promise of spring. I wonder, those of us who wait, who feel our vulnerability, that's part of so much that we cannot control. We don't know how fast the spring thaw will occur. We don't know how much more precipitation or what form that precipitation will fall. We don't know how fast or when the rivers will overflow or the ground will be covered with water. We too need to remember God's promise that though the waters may rise, the rivers may rise, we will not be overwhelmed. On Easter morning, the people of the Humboldt United Methodist Church hope to worship in their new church building. You know, what's wonderful about their story is that they have not only built a new church building, but they have grown spiritually, and they have grown numerically. It is my hope and my prayer that we people of the Dakotas Conference who are going to experience the power and the vulnerability that comes with spring flooding will be as faithful as have the people of the Humboldt United Methodist Church who have lived in to God's promise, that though flames may destroy, they will not be consumed. May we live into God's promise, that though the rivers may rise, the waters may rise, we will not be overcome. Amen.